do them early because when I have to leave the house, I don't have time to come back and do a treatment. Uh, I find it amazing, kind of funny, however you like to say it. Back in April, when I was trying to run around and get stuff together, it was funny. See, I was putting my living will in order so that my wishes could be carried out. You know what I find funny? The same person that was laughing at me, putting my living will together, is now the same person that wants me to help her with my sister. Ain't that something? The same person that was laughing at me trying to put my affairs together is the same person that want me to help her with my sister. See, my sister didn't have anything together before she became ill. And yet and still these people around here that I'm related to biologically, I call them dysfunctional for a reason. I don't never tell nobody what they should do. I just don't. I get up and I go do my own stuff. I really do. But I got see, it was funny. Pay attention. It was funny a few months ago when I was running all around the city of Philadelphia. I was trying to get my affairs in order because I knew I had to have surgery. It was funny. Pay attention how my life went. hmm July, my sister became ill. Same person that would, be mean to me, say mean things. Listen, those are facts, and that is true. I actually had to remind my mom yesterday that, see, I'm just speaking for me. I don't owe you all anything. I'm not being mad, I'm being real. When I don't feel good and you want to push me beyond where I want to be, and then you get smart and say, you didn't do anything. I don't owe you anything. I don't owe Elisa Louise Powell anything either. Isn't she the same person a few months ago that were doing and saying mean things? Isn't, because I'm a little confused here. These folks around here act like when I say I'm in pain, I've said something wrong. No, I am responding to the body that I'm housed in. And when I'm in pain, I don't owe you to get up out of the bed to do anything. These folks act like no. Y'all have the story all twisted. Latoya Sherelle Powell. I'm going to help you figure it out. Your mama, the person that gave you birth, that lady didn't really speak to me. Uh, so I don't really owe you or my mama anything. I don't have to get up out of the bed and go type up letters when my hip is hurting. My back, I don't owe y'all that. See, you all got it real twisted. You've been talking sideways out of you all mouths to me. And so from now on, when I don't feel like doing something because I'm in pain, I will adhere to what's going on in my own body and not push past it for a bunch of ungrateful people. It's one thing to wake up in pain. I can't control that. It's another thing to have to deal with a bunch of ungrateful people that act like you owe them something. I don't owe anybody in this world anything except my sons that I gave birth to. Everybody else is a no-go. I am so sick and tired of people giving me back energy that I don't deserve when I don't sometimes feel good just because I'm all dressed. No, that's not how it works. I'm all dressed up because I want to be. It took me 3 hours yesterday to get myself together. Not because I don't know how to uh, get dressed. I mean, take a shower, brush. No, that's not what it was. I was in excruciating pain and I just didn't want to get out of the bed. Only to get out of the bed to go do all of this stuff for my ungrateful mother, for her to tell me last night, "You ain't do nothing for me. Are you okay? You can't be, lady. I got up and down on buses for you. I don't drive." It's you must have the story confused. My sons are the ones who drive. They're the ones who bring. I don't drive. It's very painful when you have to get up and down on buses. It doesn't matter if they lower the bus for you to get up on it. If something is hurting, it's hurting. This lady said something to me and I really had to hold back myself and not really tell her how I really felt about her or my sister, for real, for real. You all act like I don't owe you all anything. You all have been the meanest to me. Lifetime. That I should stop with them. Wait. We got this story all twisted up around here. Tuesday was my birthday. I ain't had to take time out of my birthday to go see my sister. These people are I don't know what channel they watching. I'm trying to still figure it out. May of this year or April of this year was when I found out that I had to have an operation. Wasn't that the same people that was sitting back laughing at me, trying to get my affairs in order? But now watch the tables. See, they have turned. And it's Lisa who's in the hospital. And now my mama want me to do all this running around like a chicken with his head for a person who didn't have none of her stuff in order. We're not the same. On a normal everyday basis, I try to get all my stuff in order. If I ask somebody for help, it's probably because it's something that I can't do. But on a normal everyday basis, even my two sons, the only time I will ask them to help me is when I really can't do it. Like, for real. When my sons saw me getting my affairs in order, they really didn't want to comply with my wishes. That was not me, that were them. It's a difference. I try to stay away from people who tend to think that because I don't have a degree, I don't have common sense. That's not true. I have common enough sense to stay away from folks that think stuff about, yeah, because when I go and talk to people, I know what to say. Seriously, I'm not being smart right now. These people who I am biologically related to a few months ago, when it was my turn to be ill, to be sick, to have to get operated on, were laughing at me, trying to get my life in order in case I did not come out of surgery. Oh, how the tables have turned. That you aren't you all the same people that were laughing at me, trying to get my affairs in order? Aren't you all the same people? Uh-huh. You are. Because either you didn't believe what I said to be true, or you thought that when those people at the hospital asked you, do you have an advance directive? Do you have a living will? They see y'all sign stuff and you either don't read it or you don't listen to what is being asked of you. I don't really know. I tend to read stuff before I sign it. As if I do. Now you all want to come back and ask me for help. Ain't that something? I don't owe people that. Aren't you all the same people that were laughing at me going to the movies by myself, laughing at me going to dinner by my aren't y'all those same people now y'all want me to do stuff with y'all? Oh, okay, right. No, I don't want to do nothing with y'all. Seriously, I don't. I don't want. I don't. Cause I do know how to catch the bus and go to a movie by myself. I do know how to go to restaurants by myself. My sons are always invited, but they're introverts, and that's not stuff that they really like to do. And when they do it, sometimes they don't want to do it with me. Sometimes they don't. Now, my birthday just passed, and both my sons were not able to both be here at the same time. Now, listen, when they were little, it was fine. I mean, when they were little, I got to do it with them. But now they're grown. It's called seasons of life. I don't have expectations of my sons to stop their plans to be with me because that's not how life works. I know how to celebrate myself. I try to help people on a normal, everyday basis. When people ask me for help, I do. I thought about something the other day, and the only reason why I thought about it is because the person was not here, so I'm going to talk about it. I met a lady. Her name was Justine. Justine was very special to me. She was. I met her in 2018, I believe it was. And she was, like I said, she was very special to me. And when I saw Justine again, life goes in circles. It does. Because Justine was struggling with some life issues that I had never struggled with, but she still was special to me. So usually people will always tell me that I'm mean to people who have addiction problems because they don't know my story. But I'm going to tell my story right here. Justine was special to me because she gave me good advice, although she struggled with addiction. She meant the world to me. And she always told me, you have to learn how to live your life for yourself and stop always wanting to be accepted by your family. She told me that. When I met her, she always asked me, why is your life so up and down and you've not done drugs? She said, my story is that I did and you did it and you're here. That was the setting where I met her at. It was. Well, when I met Justine, Justine was someone else's caretaker. And so we got to know each other and hang out and all that stuff like that. And then when I saw her again, uh, she told me she was getting herself together. Now, here's the whole thing. I have came across quite a few people that I've met, and if you're special to me, I will let you know it. Pay attention to what I said. If you mean something to me, you will know it. because I will give you a card and you will know it. I don't give everybody cards. That's not a given. I don't spend my money on everybody. If I send you a birthday card, you're special to me. And it's the reason why I'm saying that. So, Justine and I met and we lived together in the same place for like 5 months. And for those 5 months that I lived in the house with Justine, I never forgot what she said. She said, "You will always be unhappy if you keep trying to be something that you're not. You're not going to be accepted by your mom, and you're going to one day wake up and realize that. Now, if you don't want to listen to what I'm telling you, just keep on living." Now, the thing that got me about what Justine said was I listened to her. I heard everything she said. And when I saw her again, we spent 5 months up in West Mount area together. This was when I lived in a house with 31 people. And that is why when people tell me that I'm selfish, I'll be like, yeah, whatever. I don't know too many people that could live in a house with 31 people. Baby, when I lived in a house with 31 people. Sure did. Right up there in West Mount Airy. West Mount Airy and Overbrook and over had some of the largest houses in the city that you would ever want to see. I mean, there could be larger houses in other sections, but the city has started to demolish, like in Strawberry Mansion, has started to demolish some of them places. See, West Mount Airy still has some of the largest houses in the city. Pelham Road has houses that are 8 and 10 and 12 bedrooms. I've been in them, so I know. They do. The 200 block of Pelham Street up there in West Mount Airy has very large houses. And it's kind of like a thing where you can't see Pelham Road from Germantown Avenue. Like if you're going if you're going up Germantown Avenue towards Chestnut Hill, you can't see Pelham Road because Pelham Road doesn't interact with um, Germantown Avenue. You would have to actually walk down Carpenter Street and come around Emlyn, go Emlyn to um, Pelham Road. I used to live in West Mount area. I've lived in Chestnut Hill as well. So Justine gave me very good advice. She did. And so the way things were in the house where I lived was we had requirements and things. See, those were learning experiences. They weren't learning experiences because we had to take turns doing things. I mean, they weren't. Because when I had my own apartments and things, all of the things that I did in my apartment was things I did when I lived with other people. So it ain't, when people be like, I don't like to cook, I don't like to clean, I just look at them because when I lived in the house with 31 people, I did all that stuff, cooked, clean, whatever. So I don't get overly touched, annoyed. I've had jobs where I've cooked, cleaned. It don't never make me no never mind. It don't. I don't ever really care about stuff like that. Um, so when I saw Justine again, she was telling me how she was on her journey. Her journey was just like mine in the sense of the word. See, life is about similarities, it's not about differences. Oftentimes, what people will do is they will pick out the differences and not look at the similarities. Like I said, I never in my life used marijuana, cocaine, none of that stuff. Those are facts. That is true. I have medical records to substantiate that. As it goes to alcohol, I have drank alcohol socially. Have never been a drunk, so I know about peach schnapps and orange juice or mimosas or whatever. True, never became overly drunk. Those are facts. I like to be sober minded. Um, but Justine and I, the similarity that we had was we both had children. We both had children and had been through some ups and some downs. Had been through some ups and some downs. Now Justine always thought that my downs were because of my family. That's just seriously. That's what she said to me, and this reason why I'm talking about Justine. And she passed away. So Justine always thought that my family was my downfall. That's basically the conversation that her and I always had. Was she always told me that you were always, I mean, but Justine didn't say nothing that Miss Stevens didn't say, for real, for real. It was just another person saying it. It was just another person saying it. I mean, facts. My mom tends to think that since I look like my dad, she will always have some sort of type of however you would like to say it, animosity. Don't really care for me. I'm not her favorite child. It's all along the same lines. All along the same lines. I mean, I don't understand how you could not like a person, but you like they kids. That don't make sense to me. But that's where she is. Like she loves my two sons. She just don't really care that much about me, for real. I mean, when I was younger, it really used to bother me. It did. Now it doesn't bother me. It just comes into my arena the way that it shows up. Thank the 11 people that's here. I am awake because I have to do my treatment that keeps my lymphedema symptoms under control. So I'm on a machine. This one, I'm gonna do this one probably straight 2 hours, and later on I'll probably do the other one because it's now after, it's almost 3 o'clock, so I don't really have too much time to do the other one. So back to Justine. So Justine and I lived in a house. I lived in a house with 31 people. And the house that I lived in, now listen, I don't remember all of wait, let me change that. Because that wouldn't be true. I do remember all of the people. I don't know what happened to them. I know Justine passed away. I know Tracy passed away. Um, there were other people. So, um, the only reason why I'm talking about Justine and Tracy, well, Justine always told me, you're stronger than what you think you are. And I always told her, have I ever appeared to be weak? I mean, because you see a person shed a few tears, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're weak. A way to get around anger is to shed tears. I mean, people that don't know that, I let them not know. A way to get around anger is to shed tears. As opposed to saying what I would like to say sometimes, I just would rather shed a few. It's easy to hurt somebody's feelings. It's easier to cry though, for real though. I mean, it is. sometimes going back and forth with people, it's just not, because I really tried to have an intelligent conversation with my mom yesterday about why I could not go with her. This lady really got over the top annoyed that I couldn't cancel out the things in my life for my sister. Me and my sister were not close. Now, yeah, we weren't close. If it was my sons, I would have canceled out. Of course, I ain't doing that for my sister. Really? No, man. I mean, you know, I've had some good memories with my sister. I have. I have pictures to prove it. But since 2007, I have not had good memories with my sister. The pictures that we've taken together, you actually can see that we were in the picture. We weren't happy. So the fact that these folks are trying to put pressures and demands on me, I don't owe my Latoya, if you're listening, if you're going to hear this, Latoya, I don't care if you ever speak to me in life again. I don't really care. My mom got mad at me because yesterday I said that if you, yeah, now I'm gonna say it where you can hear it, so that your grandmother won't have to tell you it. You can actually hear it out of my mouth. I don't care if you ever speak to me again. I don't. I don't care if you walk past me and act like you don't know me. You let Wayetta put a battery in your back. You let Siobhan put a battery in your back. Those people don't care about you. I don't want you to really think that they do. Wayetta had her own issues before she passed away. And Siobhan get ready to go on a trip. She ain't taking you, is she? Okay, that's what I thought. Right. See, pay attention. These people tell you to do things as it pertains to me, and they're getting ready. They're living their lives, doing on trips and doing things, and leaving you right here in the city of Philadelphia. Right. Pay attention, Latoya, niece. You're too old to be led by other people. When will you have your own thoughts and opinions about how things should go? I don't really care what you have done, is going to do. I don't really care. I don't care. I didn't give you my telephone number. Wayetta did. Pay attention. I didn't give you my telephone number. Wayetta did. Because I don't want you playing on my phone. So that's why I didn't give you my telephone number. See, I don't give my telephone number to people who I think will do stuff like that. And, right. So that means if I change my number, it's because I'm tired of people playing on my phone all day long. Right. So, back to Justine. So Justine and I lived together for 5 months. So when I saw her again, so how we used to have it in the city of Philadelphia was things used to be set up a little bit differently. Um, this lady, I ain't gonna call this lady's name, but to that lady that you allowed me to walk through your doors, thank you, ma'am. The reason why I ain't gonna call your name, see, she always speaks to me when she sees me in things. She does. You've been most gracious to me. You have. But the thing is when someone has not been through a struggle as drug addiction, you can't really, I can't really relate to that. That's not my story. I can listen. I could sit in meetings and listen to them talk for 2 and 3 hours. I can't understand. The reason why I can't understand is because I've never did that, wanted to do that right. So that, being around people that has done that, it don't really, walking through the streets of Kensington, Port Richmond, from, let me see if I got this geographical area right. From about Girard all the way up to the Frankfurt terminal in Philadelphia, it's been taken over. You listen, walking through there don't really. Besides me walking through there, getting off the bus there, trying to hold on to my pocketbook, I don't really know they struggle. I mean, for real. I ain't being smart right now. I don't really know they struggle. Because in the course of my 52 years of being on the earth, I've never wanted to do any type of drug paraphernalia. I can attribute it to when I was 16 years old. Right. One bad experience caused a lifetime of me not wanting to do drugs. And if I've never told that story, I'll tell it right now. When I was 16, one of my former cheerleaders, I ain't gonna call her name, she was on some prescription medication. I wasn't. One bad experience turned into a lifetime of me not wanting to do drugs. See, that's how that worked for me, because pay attention, that is the path that God laid for me. And the reason why I said that He laid it for me is because this young lady, I still talk to, when I get a chance, talk to her or whatever. I mean, some of my other former cheerleaders, when they say stuff about me, I don't really get moved, touched, or bothered. I don't get moved, touched, or bothered by people who I went to high school saying stuff about me at 52, because I know who I am, my character I'm talking about. I mean, going up and down life, or being homeless, losing places to live, all that stuff like that. Anybody could do that without being homeless. And I don't know if you all know this or not. Tyler Perry's story is that he was homeless in his car writing plays. It's not how you start in life. It's not about the ups and the downs or the dash in between. It is about how you will finish. See, the dash in between, your sunset and your sunrise, don't really dictate who you are, whether you are homeless, on drugs. It does not. See, I learned that from my cheerleading coach. The dash in between doesn't. It's how you adjust it to the dash in between. See, my story is just that I never used any type of drug paraphernalia. That is true. But I had plenty of friends that did. Justine was one of them. My other friend that was there, see, pay attention to how this goes, because this is true of me. Oftentimes, I'm good to people on a normal, everyday basis. And for whatever the reason, they feel the need to want to betray me. I have to say this. See, betray me in a way that, all right, there's Catherine over there. Mm-hmm. One of them type things. If you got it, you got it. If you didn't, you didn't. I mean, it don't really do nothing for me that's how you see me. I don't really care. I don't. It would be like my next door neighbor stabbed me in the back. If she stabs me in the back, that's because that's who she is. That's not who I am. And I'm saying it like that for a reason. She might be the biggest backstabber on 17. Oh, she might be. I don't really care about her. She ain't somebody who I care about her. She ain't. Why? Because if you're a shiesty person, you're a shiesty person. Facts on facts. If you're a shiesty person, you're a shiesty person. It doesn't change because you change addresses. Whether you live in West Mount Airy or North Philly, you take who you are with you. I don't wake up in the morning and be like, let me see who I'm a backstab today. No, I don't operate like that. On a normal everyday basis, I wake up and I say my prayers to God to be a better person, not a bitter person. I'm not bitter at my niece because she whatever. I'm not angry at my niece. First of all, Toy, I ain't angry at you. I just think you make decisions sometimes based on what other people think and not how you think. Pay attention, niece. I don't make decisions based on other people, what other people think about the 52 years that I have been here. I have taken more trips around the sun than you have. My thoughts are not influenced by other people. We don't operate the same. I don't really ever care about being laughed at, talked about. I don't. I go places all the time where people talk about me that don't, it don't move me, touch me. It doesn't. See, but when it's time for me to go places and I need to look like I'm going to talk to important people, then yesterday I looked like I was going to talk to somebody. But because I didn't feel well, yeah, we brought that look like right back in the house. When I was asked, right. That's why when people, right, you're allowed to think that I would leave the house on a normal everyday basis. No, I wouldn't. I had to actually go somewhere, so I needed to look like I was going to talk to somebody. I didn't have my coat on because it was warm and I didn't feel like carrying it. And I had other things to carry. Mm, you know, I have a I have it's like a little push buggy or whatever you want to call it here. And I don't really like using my sister's stuff. Let me say that real quick. I don't really like using her stuff. I don't. And that's why I ain't used it. That's why I don't like using, I don't really like using other people's stuff. I like to have my own stuff. She has one here. I be going down the street with 2 and 3 bags. I probably could have just used her little push buggy. Right. I don't like using other people's stuff. I have. I mean, the other day I had my mom's bag and that joint popped. Then I got home and when she found out I popped the bag. I came in, I said, I popped the bag, I'm gonna have to get you another one. She was like, except for the fact that it ain't my bag that you popped. But whatever. Doesn't really matter. It's popped now. But that's why I don't like using other people's stuff. I didn't pop the bag, pop the handle intentionally. It popped. Okay. Well, that's how this is. I tried to look really nice yesterday because I had to go somewhere. I made the decision not to based on how I felt. Because I can't ever really give you the best of myself when I don't feel well. I can't. I got all dressed up. I had my cooler with me to keep my drinks cool. It's a little backpack. It looks like a book bag, but it's not. I had it with me to keep my drinks cool. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Muffy. Yeah, I had my drinks with me to keep my drinks cool. I had my other stuff with me, and then I just decided my hip was hurting just to come back home, come back in the house, whatever. Came back, was telling my mom that my hip was hurting, and she's all the while I'm listening to her, and she was getting on me, and then I just told her I came back because I don't feel well. Then she still wanted me to do stuff for her. Then I just finally came out and told her that when you're not close to people, you don't owe them anything. Now that's just me. I don't tell other people how they should think I operate. And the reason why I'm saying that for a reason. I will help anybody and do anything for anybody. The part of the Justine story that I didn't tell y'all that I cut off was one day Justine and I were having a conversation. And she said, "You know what, Kathy?" I said, "What?" She said, "You know my birthday is about to come." I said, "Oh, your birthday coming? When your birthday?" She said, "Oh, my birthday in a few days." I said, "What's a few days?" She said, "July." I said, "July to what?" I said it just like that. "July to what?" She said, "The top of the Leos." I said, "The top of the Leos? You a Leo?" She said, "Yeah." But she said, "You know what stumps me about my birthday?" I said, "What stumps you about your birthday?" She said, "Nobody has ever bought me a cake." I said, "Do you mean when you was a little girl or do you mean grown adult?" She said, "I mean like none of my friends or anything like that." I said, "Well, Justine, I'm gonna teach you a life lesson since you always teach me life lessons." I said, "Listen, cake is something that you can get anywhere. So you don't necessarily need people to buy you a cake." Now, what I didn't tell Justine was that because she told me that, I was going to buy her a cake and take her out. I did both. Now, the only reason why I'm talking about it now is because she ain't here. If she was here, I probably wouldn't have told y'all that, but she's not. She passed away. So I'm going to tell y'all how it went. I went to the store and I got her some cake. Because I don't drive, I couldn't really, the rest of the stuff I couldn't really put together for her. But to the best of my ability, this lady told me that nobody ever did anything for her. So I went to the store and I got Justine a birthday cake. And she was very surprised. And then I took Justine out to a buffet right down there on Oregon Avenue, right down in South Philly. I did. She was staying out Southwest at the time. And I don't remember if it was right after her birthday or I know that when I saw Erica again, and I don't really know what happened to Erica. Yeah, Erica told me that she passed away. I was really stumped. Listen, when I do stuff for people and the reason why I'm talking about Justine and how I got her the cake and took her out and stuff, because people always say, "Catherine, you don't do stuff for people or you're all about money." Nah, listen. Justine didn't ask me to buy her a cake. Justine didn't ask me to take her. She didn't ask me to do any of that. It was that time that I spent with Justine when I lived in West Mount Airy. She made me realize something about myself that to this day I remember Justine. Listen, there were plenty of other people in the house. They were on come and go. Pay attention to what I'm telling y'all. I lived in a house with 31 people. And out of those 31 people, Justine, Tracy, and the other lady are the other only ones that made a profound impact on me. And they had the house was, let me tell y'all what the house was so that y'all can understand, because I may not be being clear. The house was open to people that needed a place to stay, but the house was for people who were struggling with addiction. So I lived around them, but that wasn't my struggle. So when I tell you all that I wrote about having a rehab for people, listen, this is true of me. And if you all, after I say this, I don't know how this is going, but I'm going to say it. In 1994 or 5, I wrote an idea for a rehab, and it is called Gabriel's Haven of Hope. But listen, I never did drugs or alcohol. When I had the chance to be around people that did this, right, it was new to me. Now listen, having family members that do drugs and alcohol is not like living with people that do it. Because you can easily separate yourself from your family. You just don't talk to them. Really. All of my uncles that passed away did drugs. All of my uncles that passed away on my mother's side were substance abusers. Bobby, Calvin, Gerald, and Willie, they all were substance abusers. So I ain't never had to pick up no type of drug paraphernalia. My uncles did it. One of my aunts did it. I had other family members that did it. So it ain't never, that never really was something that I wanted to do. Because I had to grow up. I had other family members that did it too. Because I have extended and bonus family, they did too. One of my bonus aunts, she still do. She in her 70s. Okay? She still tear these streets of Philadelphia up. I mean, for real. She do. She came to my uncle's funeral a couple of years. I mean, right. So, I never had to see what it's like. I never had to do that. I had family members that they did the homework for me, as they say in the rooms. And if somebody did the homework for you, it ain't no, or took the test for you, however you would like to say it. I ain't never had to take that test. Because to me, that test is a test you choose. So that's how that living with people who are substance abusers is something totally different than having family members. See, having family members that are on substances just means that you will separate yourself from them because you already know what they're about. But living with people who are on it, it's a different ballpark. Maybe steal your stuff. And just and having your stuff stolen, tampered with, however you would like to say it, people really normalize that behavior. I mean, they do. They normalize that behavior like it's normal for you. I'm just going to use this for an example. It's normal for you to put $100 bill on your bed and come back and it's gone. That's not normal. I mean, it's not normal because if you put a transpass down and it's been stolen, yeah. See, listen, I don't, I didn't write about some of the stuff. You know, LaRonda, I ain't say too much about you, LaRonda. I'm only calling your name now because you really you said something to me that ain't normal. So I'm saying it out loud. It ain't normal for somebody to put money on a bed, put their trespass on the bed, whatever it is, and they come back and it's gone. Whether they have a lot of money or they don't, or they had to struggle to get what they had. I ain't never ashamed to struggle to get what I have. I'm always perplexed when I get what I have and it's taken away from me. It's a difference. Listen, I already know that the Bible says that thou shalt not steal. That's not what I'm talking about right now. It has nothing to do with my Christian beliefs. I just was homeless a couple of months ago. I ain't walking nobody's store and stole nothing. I ain't even walking nobody's store and told them I was hungry. Pay attention. That's me. Some of the folks ain't know I was homeless when I walked in their store. And some of the churches that I went in, pay attention. I'm not saying that, listen, I ain't saying this for no other reason but for the truth. If ever, if ever in this lifetime, God would ever allow me to pastor a church, I would do things different, Prophet. You taught me that. If anybody came in my congregation and their child needed diapers, I'd have some in the back. If they needed milk for the baby, I'd have some in the back. I don't need you to fill out no form. I don't care about none of that. Pay attention to what I said. I don't need you to fill out no form. I don't care about that. It's a reason why I said it the way that I said it. I'm not knocking anybody that's doing anything. Listen to what I said, how God told me to do it. I'm not knocking how other people do anything. I said if I ever pastored a church and you came in, your baby didn't have diapers, you didn't have no milk, I will have every kind of milk that they have. Diapers of all sizes. Because I've been in church sometimes and heard some stuff sometimes that have broken my heart into as many pieces as it ever could have been broken. I've had to sometimes walk out of the doors of the church because I've been around some of the most uncompassionate, uncaring people. Always talking about they serve a loving God, but they the most hateful people in the world. Right. Let me say it one more time. I understand that I read a book about some people that had some jacked up lives, Moses, Jacob, those folks, Adam. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't strive for perfection. That doesn't mean that I shouldn't have compassion. A lot of times when I don't give people money out of my pocket, I'm not giving them money out of my pocket because I don't want to. I'm not giving them money out of my pocket because I need it. It's a difference. Like I don't like when folks mock folks who don't have. Like for real. I'm just I mean, sometimes I've been in some of the most situations and I always ask God the same thing. I mean, I don't ask him why he be letting me be. For real, for real. I always ask him what does he want me to learn. It went right back to what Justine said. You have the power within you to be something, but you want to be accepted. Pay attention to what she said one day. I helped her. She was putting her room together. She was on the second floor and I was on the third floor. She said she stopped what she was doing. She said, you have the power to be something, but you want to be accepted. When will you trade? what you want to be for who you, she said, listen, what you want to be is accepted, but who you are is now this is a stranger. I ain't never told her about Catherine's Book of Ideas. She just said you have the power to be greater, but you want to be accepted. You want to trade who you should be for who you want. She was like, Catherine, your destiny to be greater, but you don't, yeah. She was like, you want to be accepted by a bunch of people that ain't even doing the same thing that you're doing, not going. She was like, yeah, come out of your mind frame of wanting to be accepted. Walk into who you are. It's a difference. I don't ever have to be accepted by people who ain't doing the same thing, who didn't call. No, I don't. Because for the 52-year-old Catherine can look back at the 20-year-old Catherine that wrote Catherine's Book of Ideas, Gabriel's Haven of Hope, to one day walk through a recovery house and meet a young lady. God works in mysterious ways, he does. Nobody can't tell me that he couldn't, because when I gave that idea to my son's father, it was in a book. And my son's father's brother's name is Gabriel. And my son's father said to me, I just really can't believe that you would name it after him and not me. And I said to Granada, I wrote it down like God gave it to me, Granada. Why are you upset that it's not named after you? I didn't know that Granada would die the way that he would. It wouldn't have changed. I still wouldn't have named it after Granada, because Granada was not an angel. Gabriel was. It just so happens that Gabriel's mother named him after an angel. It's kind of funny how people, I come across some people sometimes in my life, they get mad at me for my stuff. My son's father, I gave him a whole book full of ideas for his church. I said gave, not sold, my son's father. An idea for a rehab to rehabilitate people that suffer with drugs and alcohol was in the book. It was called Gabriel's Haven of Hope. I wrote that idea in 1994 or 5. My son's father took the book. He picked out what he wanted to pick out. He that idea, he scrapped it. I mean, he did more than scrap it. Let me just be honest for a minute. He did more than scrap the idea. When he saw the idea, I didn't just write an idea about Gable. I wrote an idea about Tammy having her own business. See, Tammy didn't just get to have her own business. Whether she realizes it or not, or she doesn't, maybe Tammy doesn't know. I don't know if Tammy knows, because I ain't never had that conversation with Tammy, because it was in a book. Right. Joanne's idea was there too. So whether they know or they don't, at this point I don't really care. I am glad that Tammy has she has a business, because I wrote that in 1995. So now that Tammy has one, I don't really care. I mean, Tammy might not know that. The reason why, because I don't think that Tammy saw my book. So the fact that she has one, it don't really, I ain't mad at her. And for real, I probably would call Tammy to bake me a cake. Because even though I know how to bake cakes, Tammy do too. And hers be 10 times better than mine. I ain't even ashamed to say that. For real. It's called trial and error. I met Tammy and she was baking cakes when I met her. always said that Tammy should have had a pound cake business. I mean, she baked other delicacies. It's true. Sweet potato, yeah, she do. It's a blessing to be able to bake. Let me tell you, it is a blessing to be able to bake a sweet potato pie, a key lime pie, or any type of cake for real. My son's aunt, Tammy Denise Smith, I ain't told your maiden name, Tammy, don't worry. I ain't told nobody what it was. But Tammy, you can bake, you can. I'll bake me any day of the week. I ain't ashamed to say that. You know, I just made a cornbread the other day and I forgot to put sugar in it. I sure did. They ate it, but they said it ain't taste like the other one. Right. I ain't had that vanilla bean paste and I ain't put no sugar in it. And they said it don't taste like the other one. See, what did I just say, Tammy? It's a blessing to bake. Right. I cook all the time, so I don't forget the ingredients of cooking. Baking ain't my forte. I will do it, but baking ain't my thing. I know how to make a sweet potato pie, key lime pie. I know how to do all that stuff. I do. So I wrote this book, this idea I'm talking about. It had a lot of stuff in there for the Smith family. It did because they didn't see their potential. Tammy came into her potential. Joanne would never my son's grandmother would never bake you a what? I don't care if you was willing to pay Joanne price for Joanne wouldn't bake you no pie. That wasn't my son's grandmother wasn't that type of she was never on that type of time. You wasn't never gonna get Joanne to do what? Bake you a what? Pie or cake? No. I mean, it was in the book, but no, my son's grandmother. Mm-mm. I mean, I've had Joanne key lime pies and sweet potato pies. She, yeah, wasn't on that type time. I mean, she could whip you up a sweet potato pie, key lime pie, make the pie crust, all that. She ain't. You was never gonna call Mama Joe to bake you nothing. That just no. That's yeah. Mama Joe's still alive too. Mama Joe's still alive. Her birthday is momentarily. Happy early birthday, Mama Joanne. Now, wait a minute, y'all. I'm readjusting my thing. I gotta take one more. Hold on. Oh. One of the reasons why I do real life content and I don't too much do beef sector content is because most of the people that I follow, I lie to y'all not. Most of the people that I follow, Raising Cade's, the Henrys, the Gross Way, it's quite a few people that I follow. They all do real life content. Raising Cade's are always showing you how their life is with 10 children. I mean, when I look at Melanie do what she does with 10 children, I am always amazed. I ain't never not amazed at somebody that could be that well organized and be in charge of 10 children, for real. Now, all of her children are not small, but that's not the point. I watched this lady who has 10 children and a husband be super organized. I mean, they go on trips and they just live everyday life. Like Chrysler gave her a van because she has 10 children and she took them out on road trips, and um, Melanie documents her content with her real life. Like all 10 of her children have been on camera. Prayed Up Mommy documents her life on camera with her children. I'm trying to think who else. It's quite a few people who I follow who put their children on camera because that's their content. And YouTube actually has some type of clause where if your children are content, I believe they have to be paid or on the payroll. It's something that YouTube either implemented. It was either 24, 5, or I know it was recently because people had their children on as part of their content and they weren't. I don't know how it was, but I know not too long ago, YouTube made it where if your children are your content, they have to be supplemented for that. In other words, like if you have 9, 10 children and that's what your content is, they have to be able to get paid for that. Cause like with the Cades, they have 10 children. The Henrys, they have 10 children. There's quite a few people who I watch. And so yeah, YouTube implemented that. Hold on, y'all, hold on. Ouch. So the reason why y'all don't really see me in the beef sector a lot is because not really because I have a lot of stuff going on, but I'm going to eventually pivot my platform to other places like Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, because of the type of content I do. It will be very easy for me to do that. Nothing against the beef sector at all, but because they're getting ready to change stuff in February of next year, a lot of the people who have channels will be working harder, not smarter. Pay attention. They'll be working harder and not smarter. I ain't gonna work harder for nobody that ain't gonna be rolling me out one of them good AdSense checks. That's not gonna happen. Cause they're trying to turn it into, and I told you all this maybe a year or two ago. YouTube's ultimate goal was to attract people like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and people that had followings and followers to increase their revenue. And people that were smaller, they would allow you to stay, and they are. But if you don't meet their watch time hours, the way that they're getting ready to double down on it is going to basically eliminate a lot of content creators. They won't lose their channels, but it's going to be hard for them to stay monetized. I told you all that a year or two ago. I told y'all that in either 2024 or 2023 that they were going to go this way. And now in 2027, they are. They're going to make it where if you don't have those watch time hours, it's going to be hard for you to get monetized. And if you are already monetized, it's going to be hard for you to get paid. So when I told people that they needed to pivot, hold on, y'all, hold on. So when I told people that they needed to pivot to other platforms, it was for a reason. Hold on, y'all, I have to go down the steps, hold on. So what happens is what they will be doing is basically attracting people like Cardi and Nicki who have a following, and it's gonna be easy. They're basically wanting people like Cardi, Nicki, people that are in the celebrity world to come to YouTube to make it more than what it is. And I'm not saying that it's not anything right now. I'm saying they want to expand their brand. What I've been telling a lot of content creators on YouTube to do. And people are just like, yeah, okay, okay, okay. No, hold on. Most of the people who I follow on YouTube, Countess of Shopping, um, Smoking and Grilling with AB, Kimmy, they came to YouTube with their talent and their story, and they have expanded it well beyond YouTube. Countess of Shopping has, Smoking and Grilling with AB has, Kimmy has, Mr. Make It Happen has, Cooking with Cord. I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know what he's doing, so I don't know. Mr. London definitely has. Mr. London is one of the exercise people that I follow. He has over 2 million subscribers. I haven't seen Mr. London in a while, but if you type in his name, he is one of the exercise people that I follow. He has over 2 million subscribers. Okay? Right. If you come to YouTube with something that people will want, it will be very easy for you to expand. And although I was telling Jay Wilson to market his ideas, he never really catch a hold to what I was saying. You know, talking about coins keep him here. Evidently, coins don't keep you here if you ain't expanding your brand. You waiting on the AdSense. Coins could not keep you here if you're waiting on an AdSense check. When I was saying, put your logo on a t-shirt and sell it. Right. He ain't the only person who I told that to. But when people don't see the bigger picture, and now that YouTube is saying they're doubling down, it's almost too late to double. It's almost too late to expand your brand now. This August 2026. I told Jay Wilson that in 2022 or 2021, like 4 years ago. While he gets cocky and talk about he ain't ever Jay Wilson, you know I know you're a liar. But sometimes when you say cocky things, it comes back to hurt you. It ain't never really come back to hurt me. Cause that was one of the emails that I sent you. Was about you expanding your brand and you putting your logo on a t-shirt. Coins keep me here and the rider lives. See, the thing I noticed about you, and I must say this because it's true. Sometimes you can miss your blessing in life because you look down on the person and you don't receive the message. See, if it would have came for somebody and they was all dressed up with a degree, you probably would have took it. But because it came from me and I was one of your supporters, you wasn't open to it. You stumped yourself. You ain't never really stumped Catherine. I ain't played over there as Strayer. You just thought that I played over there as Strayer. I ain't play over as Strayer. I ain't never checked your accreditations. Let me say that real quick. But if you were to run my name and check mine, you found out. I ain't lie about where I say I went to school. I didn't say that you did either. Other people said that you did. But if you were to run my name, you'd have found out. I didn't lie about going to Strayer. I never said I completed Strayer. I just said I went there. You said you were the dean. Whether you was or you weren't is not the issue. You always discredit people who don't have degrees in front of their name, but yet and still you ain't in the job making top dollars with all those degrees you have. And if I were to really be technical about it, all of your degrees together are more than all of my godparents had. And all of my godparents made much more money than you. Seriously. For real. My godfather, when he was alive, he ain't had no whole lot of degrees in front of his name. But he was banking though, for real. Pastor Doc. He was banking it. For real. Mm-hmm. Know you, banking it. Know how to. See, people that really know how to bank it, they don't really be running around here with all name brand stuff on. They just got it. When they need to go get it, they get it. It's over. That's how it's done, for real. It's not all about name brand stuff. It's really not. I told you I grew up with folks they ain't really believed in all that stuff. I mean, they did it here and there, but that's not how they did it. Mm-mm. Because name brand stuff lets people know that you have money. Pay attention. Name brand stuff lets people know that you have money or have had it. So my godparents ain't, when they did name brand stuff, they might have did name brand stuff around other people that had the same thing that they had. They ain't really like going to church and all that. They was like stone cold believers and not doing stuff like that for real. They was like, they always thought that that was stupid and goofy for real. I'm being honest, they did. Frankie did. Rose and Don did. Pastor Doc and his wife did. Doris definitely did. I mean, one of my godparents, one of my godparents had a Rolls Royce. So I mean, that's why when people be saying stuff about me sometimes, I just don't. I just let them because they don't know the type of background I've had. They don't. Mm-mm. It would be like me telling you that I don't like caviar, and then you ask me why. I don't gotta tell you why. I mean, but whatever. Just because you see me now, it don't mean that I have not had the finer things of life or been around those type of people. Believe me when I tell you that I have. My godmother was a flight attendant for 35 years. That is true. And see, the thing about me saying that she was a flight attendant, her obituary is posted. If you go look her up, it's still there. So it's not questionable. Because sometimes when people say stuff, Risa Tisa just told y'all that her husband lied about everything. Friends, family, houses, right? Pathological or slash habitual liar. I'm not sure. Pathological, habitual, all the same. Somebody that just lies for sport. Hold on. All right, wait a minute, y'all. I'm going back upstairs. All right. That is that lady. Hold on. All right. Oh, okay. All right. No, I just want. All right, y'all. Hold on. Okay. So what usually happens with me is listen. I'm not always up at 4 o'clock. Today I am, cause I have to be. Sometimes I'm sleep at 4 o'clock. To be honest, I don't always. Um, I try to be consistent with my with doing my treatments around the same time every day. But sometimes what will happen is I try to get it done between different times. I don't really slay the time. I just try to do it because it has to be done. Wait a minute. All right, wait a minute. Okay. All right, wait a minute. So I'm getting ready to do my second one, primarily because hold on. So I always hold on, y'all. I'm trying to put it together and turn this fan around and it's on a little warm. Hold on. I had the air on and I got so cold I had to turn the air off. Hold on. All right. Wait a minute, y'all. I'm almost got it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Ouch. So the Eagles played the Baltimore Ravens on this past Saturday, and I was highly disappointed. I mean, I don't even know if that should be called a game. That should be called a blowout. Uh, that was a blowout that Baltimore blew Philadelphia back to Baltimore blew the Eagles back to Philadelphia. I know y'all got on a bus because it ain't that far. But before y'all got on the bus, y'all got blown back with that score. I think the score was 24-7 or something like that. Horrible. They played horrible. Mm, 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 mm. So, the Nolan Xavier Wells case. I'm gonna touch on it a little bit. I would like to talk about it more, but in order for me to do that, I'm gonna have some help with like the graphics and all that stuff like that. Um, Yesterday would have been Nolan's 19th birthday. Very sad that someone, very, very sad. And this case is like, when you buy a puzzle from the store, all the pieces are supposed to be in a box. This case is mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling for lots of reasons. Um, it is. I mean, listening to it, I listen to Smoke News TV, Tisa Tells, Queen Amadea. There's quite a few people that I listen to about this case. And it's just getting, I mean, he passed away in July, like July the 4th or the 5th, somewhere around there. And today is August the 20th. It's just getting more mind-boggling as the days go longer. And I wonder if we're ever going to get the truth or justice at this point. It just is mind-boggling, for real. Oh, there was another young man that something happened to as well. I'm gonna have to get his name, but what I'm gonna do is see the reason why I usually haven't been able to touch on this situation too much is because most of the people that I want to collaborate with, they don't want to talk about it. Or yeah, they don't want to talk about it. So I'm gonna have to probably try to do it by myself. But while I am here right now, I will talk about it a little bit. So Nolan Xavier Wells, the young man was with his friends, and uh, they alleged that he they alleged that he they alleged that he drowned. And I mean, it's just the timeline that they're the timeline, some other things, it just doesn't make sense. The interviews, some things that are being said, just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I mean, Officer Tatum has interviewed them a couple of times, and yeah, their timeline just doesn't. It doesn't add up. I mean, they were at one time talking about the phone. Wyatt had the young man had his phone. I didn't even understand that at all. Why somebody else would have your phone? And if it's an iPhone has the ability to with pictures, you can see when the pictures was taken, the time the pictures were taken, and phone calls are the same with iPhones. So the time that the call was recorded and all that stuff. Like, yeah, you know, I actually not too long ago had somebody tell me that they could get into my phone. Okay. I mean, I don't know what good it would have did them. It's the same like with this situation right here with Nolan Xavier Wells. Uh, the young man said that he had Nolan's, but why would you have his phone though? Because if it's an iPhone is either face recognition or a number code. So how would you be getting in his phone? I mean, on a normal everyday basis, if you don't have your phone and somebody tries to get into it, normally they're not going to be able to get into it because they don't know the code or it's face recognition. So yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I know that the government was trying to scrutinize Apple for that, but it's a very good thing that people can't get into your to your phone. They say that they say that they can. They making listening on your calls now. I don't doubt that, but actually getting into your phone, I doubt that highly. Seriously, I do. So that's what's been going on. It's been it's, today is August the 20th, 2026. Hmm. I'm not asleep, y'all. So Lady Nika had a real interesting live yesterday. Oh, well, I don't had a lot. I forgot that Envy and Ness were going to do a show. Ness actually had a really good show yesterday. Her competition was good, and I think Pieces get ready to do a challenge as well. Um, although I would like to do a challenge, I don't have a lot of time for that right now. My time is really limited, for real, and I'm I'm trying to fit in the things that I need to fit in. So yeah, I'm trying to really fit those things in. So, hmm. Next Lunchable Challenge was very, very, very good. Very, very good. Trademark Fortune and JB. Wow. They really, really did it. Really did a good job. So, yeah. So, I like the banter between Ness and Pizarro. They have a certain type of, camaraderie, chemistry, whatever you would like to call it. And when they're on the panel together, it's good. But when they were, they were just doing Nessa's competition, it was even better. So they have this great, like I said, great chemistry. Pizarro does with other people too. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that she did a great job being Ness co-host. So MU got her feelings and got all touched, moved, and bothered because she got constructive criticism. Myrtle tore her up. Oh my goodness. Myrtle tore her up. For real. But yeah. So you all, I am getting ready to let this run out for the next. Let me see. Let me tell y'all. I think the next 51 minutes. I might come back later. If not, you all have a good day. Bye.